What's poppin' everyone, Agma here. Now I know this isn't a normal kind of video I'd make. Normally I'd make tech videos or impressions on something, but this was a little cool challenge that I gave myself and I wanted to share how I managed to go about it. So without wasting much of your time, let's just get into it. So first thing to do when you're creating the 2020 MKBHD logo intro template is to open up Photoshop and set your resolution. So my resolution here is set to 4K. I wouldn't set it to any other thing because Marquez would practically kill me for making his intro template in such low quality. So this will be in 4K. So name it whatever you want, press OK. Now, when this has loaded up, the first thing you want to do is create a solid color. And the color will be F1, F1, F1. Okay, so it's already starting to look good. Second, head over to the tools and create a rounded rectangle. If you don't see rounded rectangle, press left click and hold, and then you'll find a rounded rectangle. I set the radius to 170. Now press and hold the shift key and start drawing out. I'm going to make it about 6 centimeters. Then when that is done, press Ctrl A so you see all these dotted lines. Then select the move tool and align this correctly. Now the next thing to do is go back to the shape tool, choose the fill, choose this over here, and change this color to F0, 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 and press OK. Now, if it disappears like it just did now, press outside of your layers tab and just press it again. You should see the highlights come. Now, choose the move tool, press and hold the Alt key. Your mouse should change. Now just press the arrow key in any direction. I'm going to press right. So you see that it created a copy. Bring this copy beneath. Select the shape tool once more and change the fill to pure black. Now adjust this color. Adjust this until it looks like a good drop shadow to it. Now press and hold the Alt key again and make another duplicate. I'm making this duplicate up this time around, and then so select the shape tool again, change the fill this time around to FD, FD, FD. You can see it at the bottom here. Now all you have to do is move this to the opposite side, so basically the top right, or rather the top left of this logo. Now when this is done, make it to your tastes. Adjust it however you like. Now I'm going to rename these layers. I'm going to rename this to main housing. Then this will be white shadow, and this will be black shadow. Now press and hold the Control key while hovering over main housing, this side of main housing, and press it. You should see these dotted lines appear. Now press and hold Control, and instead of pressing this side, press the other side of white shadow. Then press E to bring up the eraser tool. Click. It should give you this error. Just press OK. Now pay attention. Use the bracket keys, the square bracket keys, and increase the size to something like this, then simply do this. Just click and drag all over this. You won't notice any changes, but you'll understand why I did this in a little while. Wait for it to clear out everything, then do the same to black shadow. Now notice that in the layers panel, something is happening. That's happening because we just cleared out the innermost parts of this. So let me hide the visibility of this. You won't notice that anything moved. So let me change this thing's color to something else, maybe blue. Okay. Now hide this, and you notice that there is nothing in the middle anymore, and the other shapes also disappeared too. That's what we wanted. Now let me change this back. Alright, now select these two layers, go to filter. Oh wait, no. Select one layer first, go to the filter, choose Gaussian blur. Now I set the radius to 69, press OK, and do the same for white shadow. Now do the same for white shadow, but this time around reduce the blur amount to something like this, 30. Reduce the blur amount to something like 25. Alright, and now it's already starting to look pretty good. Now when you're done with all this, you can already see it looks pretty good. You can either import your logo to make it look good, or you can try to add the waveform. Now I'm going to try to add the waveform. Alright, so it's here, but then for me my color is white, which doesn't look so good. So just double click outside here, then go to color overlay and just change this to whatever color you like. I'm going to change this to black because that looks much better. Then press Ctrl T if it's out of shape. Press and hold on. Hover your mouse over one of these corners. When the arrow changes, press and hold the Alt and Shift keys, then click and start reducing the size. If it disappears, just ignore it. Focus on that circle, focus on that triangle. Now when you think it's good enough, release your hands and let it load up, or you can just press the good and it will reappear. So this still isn't good enough for me. Reduce it a bit more. Oh no, I messed up. Alright, now that looks good enough to me. So align this, make sure it's aligned perfectly to the center, and ta-da, you are. Now if you want to make the waveform, I have to warn you, this is a bit of the more difficult side of this entire process, and it requires a lot of patience. So with that in mind, let's go. Now first thing you have to do is select the ellipse tool, come to this side of your drawing, click once, you should see this dialog box. Now set the ellipse dimensions to 13 by 13. You can actually make them smaller if you want. I'm going to leave them at 13 by 13. And if it doesn't have a good color, change it to this color. So this color is FF3F4B. That's the color. Okay, now move this to the top just so you'll be able to work with it better. Now select the move tool, press and hold the Alt key, move right one step, then move it back one step. Now press and hold the Shift key and press this 25 times. Like press the right arrow key 25 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Then create another one doing the same back and forth process, and this time around move the shape by holding the Shift key 30 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. The same process, and this time around move it 9 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Actually, the same process, this time around move it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then same process, this time around 15. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And then create another duplicate and make this 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now you create another duplicate and move it 1, 2, 3 up, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now around here, my advice to you would be to group all of these and then name it anything you want. I'm going to name this waves, left waves. And so let's start with now here's a hint. When you rename this left waves, make a duplicate of it with Ctrl J, then head over to your edit, transform, then flip this horizontally and move this while pressing and holding the Shift key to maintain the straight line. And then you just have the right waves. So now it's time to make the center waves. Now here I'd advise you to take your time and do it however you like. You'll see how I'll do mine. There's no particular guideline to this. Alright, so I'm going to do this now. This may be a time lapse. Like I said, there is no specs. Just try to make this middle part more slopey. As a hint, here's one thing I'd recommend. Start here, move up to here with the pen tool, and simply curve this it should generally give you an idea of how it should go. That's one way to do it. Or you can just do it freehand the way I am. Or you can get a picture of a waveform and try to balance out these parts. So it's 13 by 13. This creates this small pixel. Then I'm going to do this and actually move this behind this. Now you notice that you can't see it anymore. So what you're supposed to do now is go to the main housing, click the main housing shape and choose the shape tool, then go here and choose the gradient. Now for this lower end, this is supposed to be a solid color, which is F1, F1, F1. Okay. Then this second part is supposed to be F0, F0, F0. And then touch this part on top. Just touch it and change the opacity to 0. Then also change this to radial. You won't notice a change, but then one other thing I want you to do is grab this and just create another opacity layer right over here. Now if you look carefully, you notice that you can now finally see that pixel that we created, that little shape that we created. And if I drag this to the middle, it now becomes even more clear. So just when you're done with that, walk around it a little, make it look to your tastes. For me, I'm not going to add anything at the back of this one because I like it this way it is, and that's all.